رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Before we commence, we have been requested to recite 5 times Amma Yujibu for one lady who is unwell, and we have an infant also who is suffering from cancer. For them and for all those who are not well, let us recite 5 times Amma Yujibu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma Yujibu da'ahu wa yakshifu as-su'. Amma Yujibu al-mudtarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu as-su'. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد. وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه تبارك وتعالى في محكم كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة وأنا ربكم فاتقون. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. We have been talking about community psychology, and last night we addressed the question of how we should deal with other communities, with members of other communities. And we saw that it is of paramount importance that we should treat those of other communities in a way that is befitting a lover and a follower of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. And this is especially true in this day and age when Islam has been portrayed as a religion of violence, as a religion where people do not care for the sanctity of human life. So we need to take extra effort by our good akhlaq to brighten the name of Islam. Tonight, the subject that we wish to discuss is the subject of ikhtilaf, of differences. There is a difference between this subject of ikhtilaf and what we had addressed earlier a couple of nights back regarding Islah Dhat al-Bayn, where when two members of the community are at loggerheads, we have to take the effort to bring them back together and to patch things up. That was regarding individuals in the community. But when we talk about ikhtilaf, we are now not looking at individuals, rather we are looking at issues. Issues that form a bone of contention in the community, issues that bring about differences in the community. That is what we want to discuss tonight, insha'Allah ta'ala. Now, because we are human beings and we are fallible creatures, none of us can claim to be ma'soom. We make mistakes. We at times transgress the limits. We at times go beyond the commandments of Allah Azza wa Jal. We at times try to impose our views on others. And because all of us are individuals and we are unique, each and every one of us, not only in our fingerprints and in our DNA, but also in the way we think and in the way we communicate and in the way we act, in our attitudes, each and every one of us is unique. And this is the beauty of the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal, that from the time of Adam alayhi salam until today, just as we don't have two DNA matches and we don't have two fingerprint matches from that time till today, and everyone is unique, similarly, even in the way we think and in our thought processes, we are unique. And because everyone is unique, then again, there are bound to be differences of opinion. There are bound to be differences of ideas that crop up in the community. So when we talk about differences and when we talk about ikhtilaf, there are two kinds of ikhtilaf. There is ikhtilaf in mundane matters. Mundane matters means worldly matters. Inside the community, ikhtilaf in mundane matters, for example, what? For example, one person who is in charge decides that, for example, the parking should be done like this. One person who is in charge decides that the program should start at this time. One person who is in charge decides anything to do with worldly matters that relate to the community. Now, in these kinds of matters, also there are differences of opinion. You will find somebody who is in charge in the community decides to do something in a certain way, and others in the community disagree. There is ikhtilaf. They say, no, this should not be done like this, it should be done like that. And it is quite interesting that it is very common in all communities for those who don't do the work to criticize. Those who do nothing, those who just attend, they have the loudest voices when it comes to criticizing. There was a very interesting anecdote that somebody was circulating. And they said a person once, a painter, once he painted a portrait and he kept it out in the public with a note saying, if there is anything wrong with this painting, please write it down, note it down, and he left a book there. After some time when he came, he found the book was full of errors. Everybody came and said, this is not right, the color is not right, the painting is not right, everyone had some negative comment and criticism to make about his painting. He came to a wise man and said, look, I've been painting all my life, but now this is the way people perceive my painting. The wise man said, no, you have made a mistake in your notice. Now you put another painting, and instead of saying if anyone finds anything wrong in the painting, note it down, say if anyone finds anything wrong in the painting, please, I have kept a paintbrush and some paint for you here, make the correction. Now he came after 1 day, after 2 days, after 3 days, he found there is no correction. Nobody has made any correction. So in mundane matters, in worldly matters, it's very easy to criticize, and people are doing the work and others are criticizing. Some of these criticisms are valid. They are valid. But that is not our concern. The second type of ikhtilaf is our concern tonight. And that is ikhtilaf in religion. Ikhtilaf in religion. That is our main concern. For example, we find there has always been some sort of difference of opinion between scholars of religion or between the Muslims. From the early days, there was a big debate about the Holy Quran. The debate was regarding the nature of the Quran. is this Quran created or is this Quran eternal? Like Allah Azza wa Jal is eternal, He doesn't have a beginning and He doesn't have an end. So therefore, some Muslims said, because the Quran is the word of Allah, so the Quran also must be eternal. Other Muslims said, no, 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 the Quran is created. Just like human beings are created, Allah also created the Quran. And so you will be surprised to find that the Muslims had literally been divided into two groups. Those who believed that the Quran was created and those who believed that the Quran was eternal, and they were fighting with one another and they were persecuting one another and they were killing one another. Today, if you ask any Muslim, they say, what difference does it make? I believe in the Quran is the word of God. You are telling me eternal, okay, I say created. At the end of the day, for me, in my practical life, the Quran is still the word of Allah Azza wa Jal. It is not an important issue for me. But in that time, and that was the time of the Abbasi Khulafa, people were imprisoned and were tortured because they believed either that the Quran was created or that the Quran was eternal. This is one example. Another example is the status of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. There was difference of opinion regarding not only how close they were to Allah and how much power they had and how much knowledge they had amongst those who loved the Ahlul Bayt. Amongst the Shia, there was difference of opinion. Of course, with the other madhahib, they believe the Ahlul Bayt are just pious individuals. So we believe Ahlul Bayt are ma'soom. But even amongst those who believe Ahlul Bayt are ma'soom, you find those ulama who lived in Qom, they had one opinion. Those ulama who lived in Najaf, they had another opinion regarding the status of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Come closer to our time, you find again differences of opinion. Some ulama say Jum'ah prayer is wajib. Other ulama, some years ago, they used to say, as long as the imam is in ghaibah, you cannot pray Jum'ah. Those who are elders of the community, they know that for so many years, not only our community, but in other communities around the world, Jum'ah prayers were not being prayed. Why? Because the ulama were of the opinion that our imam is in ghaibah. As long as the imam is in ghaibah, we don't pray Jum'ah. Today we are praying Jum'ah. These are differences of opinion in what? In religion. And one very, very common difference which we are plagued with even today, moon sighting. Problems, differences. These are differences in religion. Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ تَفَرَّقُوا وَاخْتَلَفُوا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَهُمُ الْبَيِّنَاتِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. Don't be like those people who were separated and who were divided amongst themselves, who had ikhtilaf amongst themselves. After what? After the bayyinat had come to them, after the religion has come to you, after the teachings of the Quran and Ahlul Bayt are with you, you are in this mode of separating from yourselves and becoming a separated and disunited community. Now, we want to look at tonight, insha'Allah, the causes of these differences. What are the causes of these differences? Today, our young brothers ask us, why are there so many differences in the religion? We are finding it so difficult because one scholar will tell us A and another will tell us B. What is this? What can we do? Why has this come about? So let us try and look basically at the causes of these differences in religion that we have. Differences of opinion in religious matters. Number one, misunderstanding of religious instructions. From the time of our sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, and even during the previous Imams and the later Imams, we find that some people misunderstood some of the sayings of the Holy Prophet. And so one person comes to our sixth Imam alayhi salam and he says, I have heard the Muslims saying that the Holy Prophet has said, Inna ikhtilafa ummati rahmah. He asks the Imam, I have heard people quoting from Rasulullah that the Prophet said that the differences in my community is rahmah. Inna ikhtilafa ummati rahmah. So the sixth Imam alayhi salam says, yes, the Prophet said this. The man was taken aback. He said, إِذَا كَانَ اِخْتِلَافُهُمْ رَحْمَةً فَاجْتِمَاعُهُمْ عَذَابٌ. He asked him, Oh Imam, if the Prophet said that the ikhtilaf in our communities is a rahmah, then does it mean that when the communities are united, there is ijtima', that it is an adhab? The Imam said, no, you have not understood. The word ikhtilaf has more than one meaning in Arabic. So that person had misunderstood the hadith of Rasulullah. He had misunderstood. Then the Imam explains to him, the word ikhtilaf here means visiting one another. Like we recite in the ziyarah, mukhtalaful malaika. When we talk about the Ahlul Bayt, mukhtalaful malaika are those whom the angels visit all the time. So ikhtilaf here in this hadith does not mean differences of opinion. It means what? Visiting one another. So the hadith would mean that visiting one another is a rahmah in my community, is a rahmah for the mu'mineen. And who would disagree with that? So the first cause of differences of opinion in religion is misunderstanding. The second cause of differences in religion and differences of opinion in religion is scribal error. What is scribal error? In the olden days, we never had printers and we never had printing presses. What people would do was they would sit down at a desk with a pot of ink and a quill pen, and they would copy down the books. They were known as scribes. You would have one book, and if you wanted a copy, you would have to give it to a copyist, and he would copy it down for you, word by word, letter by letter. Now, they are human beings. If a copyist is tired at night, he's busy copying the book, and he falls asleep, or he forgets to put one full stop, or he forgets to put one dot, it changes the meaning completely. And that is why regarding one hadith which is attributed to the Prophet, in which it says, Inna Rasulallah sallallahu alayhi wa alih, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. كان يستحب العسل يوم الجمعة. The Prophet used to love honey on the day of Jumu'ah, Friday. So people started saying, oh, very nice. So Friday comes, we start eating honey. But have you stopped for a moment to think, if a person likes honey, would they like honey on a specific day, or they like honey? If you like honey, there is no limit of what day you like it. You like it on any day. So scholars said, no, the person who was writing this hadith, he made a mistake in the hadith. The word asal was actually ghusl, with the dot on the ain, to make it rain. But he forgot that dot, so now it became asal, so people started going to buy honey. Scribal error. One dot missing from asal to ghusl. Now, ghusl on the day of Jumu'ah, everybody knows that it's mustahab. It's mustahab. So now, those who don't know these intricate details, they said, okay, there's a difference of opinion. The third reason why differences of opinion in religion came about is that some people brought about theories without any evidence. For example, and this is very common when it comes to mystics and Sufis and those type of people who rely on visions and dreams. The famous one being Ibn Arabi. You must have heard of Ibn Arabi's name. Ibn Arabi, in his book Fususul Hikam, Fususul Hikam is a book, by the way, he claims that the Prophet gave this book to me himself. He got the book from Rasulullah. In that Fususul Hikam, he says, Allah Azza wa Jal forgave Fir'aun during the last moments of his life. Who? Fir'aun. No other scholar has said this. Neither does the Quran say this. Neither does the Hadith say this. Who says this? One scholar, mystic, known as Ibn Arabi. Now those who idolize this individual, then they take his opinion and they try and look for justifications, and then we come up with differences of opinion in religion. The fourth cause of differences is the intentional fabrication of hadith that took place in history. The intentional fabrication of hadith. Because everyone knew that if we want to get our ideas across and if we want people to accept our point of view, if we say that I have said it, they will say, who are you? But if I say, Qala Rasulullah, then nobody will argue. If I say, Qala Sadiq alayhi salam, then nobody will argue. So people fabricated hadith and they attributed it to the Prophet so that people would accept from them. And this caused differences of opinion. There's one hadith that we find in one of our most reliable books of hadith known as Al-Kafi. You must have heard of Al-Kafi. In that hadith we are told that our second Imam, Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, was mitlaq. Mitlaq means somebody who does a lot of talaq. The hadith says that Imam Ali alayhi salam went on the minbar and told the people, oh people, don't give your daughters to my son Hassan because he gives talaq a lot. Now, when you read this hadith, you don't need to contemplate immediately. You know this is a fabrication. This is a false hadith. How do you know? Because Allah says, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. اللهم صل على محمد. Allah wants to remove all kinds of rages and filth from you. And if any human being hears that there is a person who does a lot of talaq, would they not think that this is a bad thing? This is something that is not pleasant? It falls in the category of rijs. And Allah has removed from Ahlul Kisa the rijs. So even if it comes in your most authentic hadith, you say, throw it away. It goes against the Quran. But how did it come to us? It came because during that time there was a factory of hadith fabrication. A whole factory of hadith fabrication. And those who fabricated the hadith were very clever. They put very beautiful sanads. You know, sometimes you say you check the sanad of the hadith. See who has narrated. Those who fabricated were clever people. They put beautiful sanads of the hadith. So when you see the sanad, you say, MashaAllah, what a great scholar has narrated it. But in reality, it is fabrication. This is just one example. We have plenty like this. And so the fourth cause of differences in religion is fabricated hadith. The fifth cause of differences in religion is lack of knowledge. Some people, without knowledge, they want to come and present their religious views, as if they have authority to present religious views. This is not something only in our community or only now. From the time of the Holy Prophet, when the Prophet was signing the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, some of the companions stood up and said, no, this is very wrong, this is very bad, you have given them too much. You have given the mushrikeen too much. The Prophet said, you are questioning me. Until the ayah had to be revealed from Allah Azza wa Jal, telling the believers, don't fret. Allah knows, Allah has commanded the Prophet to sign this agreement of Hudaybiyah. Some people don't have the required knowledge and they want to make opinions. I read in one book, I read in Biharul Anwar. Do you know what Biharul Anwar is first? You know the history? No. I read in Al-Kafi, or I read in this alim's book, I read in that alim's book, and now I'm opinionated. I have an opinion about religion. So lack of knowledge then causes differences of opinion in religion. And the sixth and final cause of differences of opinion in religion, of ikhtilaf, in religion is lack of wisdom. Lack of wisdom. You may have knowledge, you don't have the wisdom. These very same mystics, these very same Sufis, they would have shathiyat. Shathiyat were those statements that they would make when they were in a state of ecstasy. You know, they are always trying to be close to Allah, isn't it? So they say they reach certain points where they are so close and their mind is engulfed and encompassed with the love of Allah Azza wa Jal, and they start making outrageous statements like what Hallaj did. What did Hallaj do? Hallaj went on the pulpit and said, Ana al-Haq. I am Allah. I am God. Because one of the names of Allah is Al-Haq. Or some of them used to say Subhani. You know how we say Subhanallah? We say Subhani. Glory be to me. Who? These very same mystics. And of course, Hallaj then was executed for what he did. The mimbar is a place where you have to be careful. There are certain things that should be spoken, certain things should not be spoken. You don't say, no, I went and did my research, and now I'm presenting my research from the mimbar. Mimbar is not a place to present your research, my dear. You want to present your research on religion, there is academic institutions, there is Hawza Ilmiya, you go and sit in Hawza Ilmiya with the scholars, you present your research. Don't come up with new theories, new ideas, new research, sit on the mimbar and say, now I'm presenting my research. This is my research. No, no, this is not wisdom. The Holy Prophet himself said, كَلِّمُ النَّاسَ عَلَىٰ قَدْرِ عُقُولِهِمْ. Speak to the people at their level. There is a time and place for everything. Recently there was a discussion when the month of Rajab came. 27th of Rajab, should we celebrate Mi'raj or should we celebrate Bi'tha? Oh, it became a hot discussion. What is the problem? Why can't you celebrate both? Do you not believe in Mi'raj? Yes. Do you not believe in Bi'tha? Yes. So no, 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 no. 27th is the date of Bi'tha, not Mi'raj, so stop celebrating Mi'raj. Okay, fine. Tell us what is the date of Mi'raj so we can celebrate. No, no. They'll not give you an alternative date for Mi'raj. They want you to stop celebrating Mi'raj. What is this? Where is the wisdom in this? They say because the Sunni brothers celebrate Mi'raj on 27th because they didn't want to celebrate the Bi'tha, so we should now celebrate the Bi'tha and not the Mi'raj. There is no wisdom in this. You can celebrate both. Are you not celebrating Rasulullah? Are you not talking about the fadail of Rasulullah? Can you not within one majlis of 40 minutes talk about Bi'tha and Mi'raj? That you have to start saying, no, this is wrong and that is right, cause again conflict. So we found therefore that there are 6 primary causes of conflict and of disagreement in religious matters. 6. What are the effects? What are the effects? Just as a reminder for those who want to remember the 6. Number 1 was what? Misunderstanding the tenets, the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Misunderstanding, like the way that man went to ask Imam al-Sadiq alayhis salam. Number 2 was what? Scribal errors. That man was writing that hadith, he must have fallen asleep or forgotten the dot. That caused a difference of opinion. Number 3 was what? Coming up with theories and ideas that don't have any basis in Islam, like what Ibn Arabi said about Fir'aun. Number 4 is what? Number 4 is when the people intentionally fabricated the hadith. Intentionally fabricated the hadith. Number 5 is what? Number 5 is when there is lack of knowledge. And number 6 is when there is lack of wisdom. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So these are the causes of differences in religion. What are the effects? Number 1 is that there will be tafraqah amongst the people and people will be divided in their religion. When these differences become prevalent in the society, then you find now people separate and become different groups. And that is why you find different madhahib. You know, even from the time of the A'imma alayhimus salam. For example, during the time of our 6th Imam, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salamu alayh. after he passed away, the people divided into 3 groups. Who divided? The Shia of Imam al-Sadiq divided the Shia into 3 groups. The first group said, we follow now his eldest son, Abdullah al-Aftah. He's the eldest living son of Imam al-Sadiq. We take him as our Imam. They became known as the Fatahiyya. But now, after 2 months, he passed away. So then now he didn't have any children. So what do? Then they reverted back to our 7th Imam alayhi salam. The second group, they followed the Imamah of our 7th Imam, Imam Musa al-Kadhim salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. And the third group, they followed Ismail ibn Ja'far, and today they are known as the Ismailis. They are there even today. These are the differences that come about. Differences. Because there is difference of opinion in religious matters, it can lead to separation of the community and dividing of the community. And there are so many of these firaqs, we don't have time and it is not the place to discuss how from the time of even Imam Ali alayhi salam, there were so many divisions that took place all across history until the time of the 11th Imam alayhi salam. So many divisions. So the first effect is what? That the community separates into different groups. The second effect of these differences of opinion in religion are the propping and the cropping up of strange beliefs, strange ideas. During the time of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, Allahumma salli ala there was a group that believed that the Imam was God himself. And they came to Imam and said that we believe you are God. The Imam said, how can you believe I am God? I am a human being. Not only am I just a human being, not only am I just a servant of Allah, Ana abdun min abidi Muhammad. I am one of the servants of the Prophet of God. And he was the Khalifa at that time. They said, no, we have seen your fada'il, we believe you are God. And they were very insistent. So Imam alayhi salam had to punish them. This anecdote can be found in the Sharh of Ibn Abil Hadid. He tells us that the Imam alayhi salam warned these people, recant your beliefs, take back these false beliefs, otherwise I will have to punish you. And the punishment is capital punishment. It is punishment to the death. They didn't listen. The Imam said, I will burn you to death, because the punishment for this is burning to death. They said, no, we still don't. And when the Imam now started preparing to punish them by burning, they said, now we are even more sure that you are God. I said, Ajib. Why? Because the Prophet of Allah told us, La yu'adhibu bin nar illa rabbun nar. Nobody punishes with the fire except the Lord of the fire. Now you are punishing us with fire, that means you are God. And so Imam Ali alayhi salam digs 2 pits. In the first pit, he puts those people. In the second pit, he puts fire. And he puts a canal between these 2 pits. So these people died not of burning, but of smoke inhalation. That means they had a lot of time. The Imam said, anytime you do tawbah, you can come out. Anytime you do tawbah, you can come out. But they were so stubborn that till the last moment they remained in that pit and they died in that pit. Why? Because they believed Ali alayhi salam was God. Strange beliefs. There were some Muslims also who are known as the Ghurabiyya. The Ghurabiyya comes from the word Ghurab. Ghurab in English means crow. They call themselves Ghurabiyya because they say that the way you can't differentiate between 2 crows, Imam Ali and the Prophet were so similar that you could not differentiate between them. They looked so similar that you could not differentiate between them. That is why when Jibreel came down with the wahi, he was supposed to give Ali alayhi salam, but he gave the Prophet. He made a mistake. Who made the mistake? Jibreel, na'udhu billah. Na'udhu billah. Jibreel made a mistake and he gave the Prophet the wahi when he was supposed to give Ali alayhi salam. This is what they believed. So when there is differences in religion, you find sometimes some very weird and very strange kinds of beliefs crop up. This is the second effect. And the third effect is that there is innovation now that comes about in religion. Innovation in our practices. We turn away from the sunnah and we go towards bid'ah. Something that was not there in Islam, that was not practiced by the Muslim community, now it's a new practice in the Muslim community. ما أحدثت بدعة إلا وترك بها السنة. Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam says, whenever a bid'ah comes about, a sunnah has been abandoned. We find in our community some new things are coming up these days. Very surprising things. Where you have a lady who is supposed to be zakira, calling herself zakira, alima. She comes and stands in front of a majma where there are men seated in front of her and she's in full makeup. All right, she's wearing hijab, but hijab does not mean just a piece of cloth on your head. No. She comes and stands in front of all these men and women and she starts preaching to them about Islam. Where is this written? Where is this in Islam? And then they bring false justification. No, Fatima alayha salam came out in the court of Abu Bakr. No, Zainab alayha salam gave her khutbah in Kufa and Sham. Feel ashamed of these type of arguments. A'udhu billah, a'udhu billah. Do you know when Fatima alayha salam came to the mosque to address Abu Bakr, she was standing behind a pardo, behind a curtain? Do you know that? And when she came with so many women that she was engulfed by the women. Not one man saw her. Not one man saw her. And Zainab alayha salam, before Kufa, before Sham, before Karbala, show me one of her khutbahs that she gave. After she came back to Medina, show me one of her khutbahs that she gave. She was a prisoner at that time. She had no option. She had no choice. Now you're using that as an example and you're coming in front and with makeup, Zakira, Fulana and Zakira and giving lecture to the men. This is not there in Islam. You can try as much as you want to justify it. It is not there. And then we have another bala that has cropped up, the bala of shahada thalitha in tashahud. Say, you do in tashahud, you have to recite also, ashhadu anna aliyan waliyullah. In tashahud of salah. Where has that come? Who practiced that? Which imam has taught us that? So where are you coming up with these things from? This is the effect of differences of opinion in religion. A lady comes to our sixth imam, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. And she tells him, I am an abstemious lady. So the imam says, an abstemious lady? What do you mean, abstemious lady? She says, I am abstemious, I am not getting married. I don't want to get married. So the imam says, why? He says, because I want to be close to Allah Azza wa Jal. I want to be close to Allah Azza wa Jal. So the imam alayhi salam says, if there was any merit in this action, then the first person to practice it would be Fatimatu Zahra, salawatullahi wa salamu alayha. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin. Nobody can surpass her in loftiness. If you want to know how to become close to Allah, look at her life. Don't come up with your own ideas. Now I won't get married because I want to be close to Allah. The imam says, no, you cannot do that. And unfortunately for us it is very easy. We want to look for justification. We just write a letter to Agha Sistani. We say, Agha. Agha says, okay, it is allowed. It is allowed. It is not as simple as that, my dear brothers and sisters. There are so many things that are allowed in Sharia, but you have to look at so many other factors. And there is also the spirit of the law, not just the letter of the law. There is the spirit of the law. Even Ayatollah Sistani himself has a belief in a new idea which is known as Ruhul Quran. I have not seen this from any other scholar. He says, you know, when you want to compare a hadith to see whether a hadith is authentic or not, we are told compare it with the Quran, right? If it matches with the Quran, then you accept the hadith. If it goes against the Quran, you turn it away. We have heard this, isn't it? But Sayyid Sistani says not only if it goes against the Quran, even if it goes against the Ruhul Quran, the spirit of the Quran, still you turn it away. So Islam, the Sharia of Islam is not just the letter of the law, the spirit of the law also. Otherwise, there are so many things that are allowed in Sharia. But we don't practice in our community. Why? It will cause a lot of problems in our community. Not everything that is allowed you should practice. So using this kind of argument doesn't help. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. And finally, how do we resolve these differences of opinion? How do we resolve these differences that come and crop up in our community? Number one, we have to have an open mind to think that maybe we are wrong and the other person is right. This was taught to us by Rasulullah himself when he says, وَإِنَّا أَوْ إِيَّاكُمْ لَعَلَى هُدًى أَوْ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. Who is saying this? The Prophet of Allah is saying this. The one who is receiving wahi is saying this. He's telling the people, either we are wrong and you are right, or you are wrong and we are right. One of us is right, one of us is wrong. Come, let us discuss. And that is why even the ulama, when they talk about one another and they have differences of opinion, there is so much respect that they show to each other. One alim will say, maybe I have not understood his opinion. I think his opinion is wrong, but maybe I have not understood. This is the humility that you need to have to solve these kinds of disputes. And second, and very, very, very important, whenever anything new comes up, whenever any different opinion comes, the first thing you need to ask for is evidence. نحن أبناء الدليل نميل حيث يميل. We are people of evidence. Wherever the evidence goes, we will go. Quran says, قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. If you are right, bring your evidence. If your evidence is strong, we will accept. We will say, yes, we are wrong, you are right. Bring your evidence. Don't accept anything without evidence. Don't accept anything without evidence. From your zakirin, from your leaders, from whoever tells you anything about religion, just say, please, kindly provide us the reference. Kindly provide us where you got this from. What is the evidence? In this day and age where different kinds of a'mal, du'as, hadith are floating around in WhatsApp, most of which have no basis whatsoever. So ask for references. Ask for references. And finally, if you don't agree with one another, then as one of my friends would say, you should agree to disagree. You don't agree with one another, let it not be a cause of disunity in the community. You can keep that issue until it gets resolved in the future. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Tonight is the 8th night of Muharram al-Haram. And it is the night in which we remember Babul Hawa'ij. The title of Babul Hawa'ij has not been given to everyone. Only a few select individuals have gotten this title of Babul Hawa'ij. One of them is Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. Who is Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas? He is the one for whom Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam did dua. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam knew that Hussein alayhi salam would be alone in Karbala. So he prayed to Allah, oh Allah, give me such a son who can stand as a pillar next to my Hussein in Karbala. He goes to his brother Aqil and says, oh Aqil, I want you to find for me a lady from a noble family, from a brave family. And when he gets married and Abbas is born, he says, I am naming this child Abbas. You know what Abbas means? Abbas in the Arabic language means Asadun tahrubu minhul usud. That lion, that when other lions see him, they run away. That is called Abbas. Allahu Akbar. And you know who this Abbas is? When Abbas alayhi salam was young, he would follow Imam Hussein everywhere. He would always go behind Abu Abdullah, but not empty-handed. He would carry water with him and follow Abu Abdullah. There was never a time when Abu Abdullah was thirsty that he could not turn and take water from his brother Abbas. This was Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. And do you know the love that Fatima Zahra has for Abbas? Do you know the love that Lady Zahra has for Abbas? There used to be one man, it said, in Karbala. He used to always go for the ziyarah of Imam Hussein. But he would not go for the ziyarah of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. He would go once a week for the ziyarah of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, every day for the ziyarah of Imam Hussein. One day he sees the Lady of Light in his dreams. She says, "You don't go for the ziyarah of my son?" He says, "No, my lady. Every day I go for the ziyarah of your son Hussein." She says, "But you don't go for the ziyarah of my son Abbas." The love that Az-Zahra has for Abbas. This is Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. On the night of Ashura, as everyone is preparing, Hazrat Abbas is also sharpening his sword. He is preparing, thinking to himself, tomorrow I will show my brother Hussein my fighting skills, how I will protect the camp of Abu Abdullah. And indeed, the women all felt secure. They said, as long as Abbas is there, nobody will come near the tents. Nobody will come to take our chadars. Nobody will come to harm us. He is preparing himself. But when the day of Ashura comes, Imam Hussein alayhi salam gives Abbas the alam and he tells him, "You are my alamdar." Now as Hazrat Abbas is the alamdar, whenever he comes to Abu Abdullah, "Give me permission, Mawla," Imam would say, "No, Abbas, you are my alamdar. You have to be with me." One after the other, the people went into the battlefield. One after the other, the ashab went into the battlefield. One after the other, the Bani Hashim went into the battlefield. One after the other, they fell down and they were martyred. Each time Abbas would come, "Mawla, let me go next." Mawla would say, "No, you are my alamdar, Abbas. You are my alamdar." At the end, he said, "Mawla, where is the army of whose alamdar I am? Everyone has been martyred." And then Abu Abdullah says, "Okay, Abbas, I will allow you to go just to get water for the children." Abbas comes to the tent. He tells Zainab alayhi salam, "I am going now. Oh my sister, my Mawla has given me permission to go and get water for the children." When Zainab hears this, she sits down and begins to weep. Now I know that the promise I was given of what will happen to me after Karbala will come true. Whoever has gone in the battlefield has never come back. Now you are going, Abbas. And then Abbas comes to Sakina. He tells Sakina, "Sakina, I'm going to bring water for you. Bring your water bag. Bring your mashkiza." Sakina goes and gives her mashkiza. And then she calls the children, "Oh children, my uncle is going to bring water. Don't worry. Soon you will have water." All the children were waiting outside the tents. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas goes towards Furat. Now when Abbas goes towards the river of Furat, nobody has the audacity to block his way. He reaches the river of Furat. He enters inside the river of Furat. He takes some water in his hand. I think he must have seen Sakina in that water. Immediately he throws the water away. He fills the mashkiza of Sakina. And now he is coming back towards the tents. As he is coming back towards the tents, one Shaqi comes from behind and cuts off the right hand of Abbas. He takes his alam in the left hand. After some time, another Shaqi cuts off the left hand of Abbas. And he keeps going. But the dua that is always in the mind of Abbas, "Oh Allah, let this water reach Sakina. Let this water reach Sakina." He kept on going. He kept on moving towards the tents. And then one Shaqi fires an arrow. It hits the eye of Hazrat Abbas, but he still moves forward. Finally, when the last arrow pierces the mashkiza and the water flows from that water bag, now Abbas turns, he goes back, he says, I cannot face Sakina. He goes away from the tent, and as he is going away, one Shaqi comes and strikes him with an iron rod. Now Abbas falls to the hot sands of Karbala. Bas azadaro, ek martaba Abbas zameen pe gire aur awaaz di, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Ey Aba Abdullah, aap par mera salam ho. حسین خیمے سے باہر آئے, ایک مرتبہ کمر پہ ہاتھ رکھ کے کہا, الان انکسر ظہری وقلت حیلتی. عباس, تمہاری اس آواز نے حسین کی کمر کو توڑ دیا. یہ کہہ کے حسین ایک مرتبہ مقتل میں پہنچے, عباس کے پاس بیٹھے. علی کا شیر بیٹا مقتل کے اندر ایڑیا رگڑ رہا تھا. ایک مرتبہ حسین آئے, عباس کے سر اٹھائے, اپنے زانوں پہ رکھا. عباس نے سر کو پھر زمین پہ رکھ دیا. حسین نے پھر عباس کا سر کو اٹھایا, پھر زانوں پہ رکھا. عباس نے پھر سر کو زمین پہ رکھ دیا. تیسری مرتبہ جب یہ ہوا تو حسین نے عباس سے مخاطب ہو کے کہا, میرے بھائی عباس, کیا بات ہے, تمہارے سر کو میں زانوں پہ رکھ رہا ہوں, تم سر کو پھر زمین پہ رکھ لیتے ہو. عباس نے جواب دیا, میرے مولا, آپ میرے سر اپنے زانوں پہ رکھ رہے ہیں, مگر تھوڑی دیر کے بعد جب آپ اس تپتی ریت پہ گریں گے, آپ کا سر کون زانوں پہ رکھے گا؟ میں کہوں گا, مولا عباس, جنت البقیع سے فاطمہ آئے گی, حسین کا سر اپنے زانوں پہ رکھے گی. ہاں زاداران امام حسین, امام عباس کے سرانے بیٹھے ہوئے تھے کہ ایک مرتبہ عباس نے کہا, میرے مولا, میرے آقا, میں بچپن سے آج تک آپ کے چہرے مبارک کا زیارت کرتا آ رہا ہوں, مگر آج میری ایک آنکھ میں تیر ہے, ایک آنکھ میں خون ہے. مولا, میرے آنکھوں سے خون کو پوچھ دیجئے تاکہ میں آخری وقت پہ بھی آپ کے چہرے انور کی زیارت کر سکوں. ایک مرتبہ حسین نے آنکھوں سے خون کو پوچھا اور عباس نے حسین کے چہرے انور کو دیکھا. دیکھنے کے بعد کہا, میرے مولا, میری ایک وصیت ہے. کہا, کیا وصیت ہے؟ کہا, میرے آقا, میرے لاشے کو خیمے میں نہ لے جائیے گا, اس لیے کہ عباس سکینہ سے شرمندہ ہے. لیکن شاید اسی لیے بھی عباس نے کہا ہوگا کہ میرے لاشے کو خیمے میں نہ لے جائیے گا, شاید اسی لیے بھی کہا ہو کہ 32 برس کا لاشا ہوگا, میرے آقا آپ سے یہ لاشا نہ اٹھے گا, میرے لاشے کو خیمے میں نہ لے جائے گا. حسین نے وعدہ کیا. ایک مرتبہ حسین نے عباس سے کہا, میرے بھائی عباس, میری بھی ایک خواہش ہے, میری بھی ایک خواہش ہے, میری بھی ایک تمنا ہے میرے بھیا. کہا, کیا تمنا ہے؟ حکم کیجئے, جب تک اس سینے میں دم ہے میرے آقا, میں آپ کے تمام مرادوں کو پورا کروں گا. کہا, میرے بھائی عباس, بچپن سے لے کر آج تک تم نے ہمیشہ مجھے آقا کہہ کے پکارا ہے. میرے بھائی عباس, ایک مرتبہ بھائی کہہ کے پکارو. عباس نے ایک لمبی سانس کھینچی اور اس کے بعد کہا, یا اخی, میرے بھائی. حسین نے عباس کو سینے سے لگایا. ابھی سینے سے لگے ہوئے تھے کہ عباس کی روح جنت کو پرواز کر گئی. بس عزادارو، مجھے نہیں معلوم کہ حسین عباس کے لاشے سے کیسے کھڑے ہوئے، مگر حسین عباس کے لاشے سے کھڑے ہوئے، ہاتھوں میں علم کو اٹھایا اور خیمے کا رخ کیا۔ وہاں سکینہ نے دیکھا کہ علم اجرکم علی اللہ، اجرکم علی اللہ، اجرکم علی اللہ۔ وہاں سکینہ نے دیکھا کہ علم آ رہا ہے، بچوں کو جمع کیا، آؤ بچوں، چچا پانی لے کر آ رہے ہیں۔ ایک مرتبہ بچے جمع ہوئے، حسین خیمے کی جانب آئے۔ اب جو سکینہ نے دیکھا کہ حسین علم کو لے کر آ رہے ہیں، عباس نہیں آئے، دوڑتی ہوئی گئی، بابا بابا امو کو کیا ہوا؟ ایک مرتبہ حسین نے کہا میری سکینہ اب غازی کبھی نہیں آئیں گے۔ سکینہ نے مقتل کا رخ کر کے آواز دی، چچا جان ہم کو ابھی پانی نہیں چاہیے، واپس آؤ چچا جان۔ ارباب ازا یہ کہتے ہیں کہ اس کے بعد بچوں کی العطش کی آوازیں خیمے میں بند ہو گئی۔ واہ عباسا، واہ مصیبتا۔ لے کے علم تم آؤ علمدار، مشک
بھر کے تم لاؤ علمدار، لے کے علم تم آؤ علمدار، مشک بھر کے تم لاؤ علمدار۔
ایک طرف ہے خیمے جلتے،
ننھے بچے ہیں پانی کو ترستے،
ایک طرف ہے خیمے جلتے،
ننھے بچے ہیں پانی کو ترستے،
آ کے انہیں تم
پانی پلاؤ، لے کے علم تم آؤ علمدار۔
بھائی ذرا تم خیمے میں آؤ،
روتے ہیں بچے آ کے مناؤ،